Picture this. You walk into the office, grab your morning coffee, and sit down to knock out that mandatory new ethics training video. It starts playing, and the voice narrating the company's deep commitment to integrity is yours. It's got your exact cadence, your tone, your signature inflection. But there's just one chilling problem. You know for an absolute fact that you never recorded it. Well, welcome to our latest explainer titled The Training Video with the Wrong Voice Exposed the Next Corporate Cover-Up. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating and honestly pretty unsettling case study in modern corporate politics. We're going to break down how an AI-generated synthetic voice was deployed not just to hijack an employee's credibility, but to literally rewrite company history. Let's get into it.
So here's our roadmap for the breakdown. First up, we're looking at the synthetic voice trap. Then we'll cover tracing the digital footprint. After that is unmasking the true design, and we'll wrap up with repairing the corporate system.
All right, part one, the synthetic voice trap.
To set the scene here, the company rolls out this seemingly routine ethics video. And it heavily implies that strategy lead Maya Carter is fully endorsing their, let's say, highly sanitized version of some recent internal events. But when Maya actually hears this AI synthetic clone of her own voice, she doesn't freak out, she doesn't shout, she just calmly asks about it. And the official explanation from the PR and communications team arrives almost instantly. They call it an approved talent simulation. I mean, it sounds so perfectly reasonable, right? But it's really just polished corporate doublespeak, meticulously designed to mask the reality of an unauthorized AI voice clone. Because in this kind of environment, the most dangerous lies rarely come as direct denials. They come wrapped in excuses like legal caution, team protection, or, just business continuity. They were basically trying to politely explain away a massive violation of her consent.
And that brings us to Maya's core philosophy. The dangerous documents never look dangerous first. Maya immediately realizes that the incredibly polished, harmless appearance of this video is exactly what makes it such a massive threat. You see, the earlier lies at this company, they didn't survive because someone threw a tantrum in a meeting. They survived because the process looked perfectly neutral until someone actually bothered to read the record. Maya knows that if a document looks a little too clean and the explanation arrives just a little too smoothly, well, it's time to start checking the timestamps.
Moving right along to Section 2, Tracing the Digital Footprint.
So how do you actually fight a flawlessly polished corporate narrative? The answer is quiet, methodical background investigation. Maya and her audit team pivot their focus straight to the digital breadcrumbs, and they ask three incredibly stark questions. What changed? Who changed it? And who benefits? She completely ignores the emotional noise and just follows the systems. Who touched the file? Who was pushing everyone to move so fast? By framing the investigation around those three simple questions, Maya starts building a razor-clean path directly from the action to the owner.
And this builds into a totally undeniable audit trail. Step 1. Aisha, a brand new analyst on the team, goes to check for the consent form. Surprise, surprise, it is completely missing. Step 2. IT specialist Jordan pulls the actual system logs. Again, moving past the feelings and looking directly at the hard sequence of events. Step 3. Jordan traces the video upload directly back to an external vendor folder belonging to Rochelle. And Rochelle is a reputation consultant who's pretty well known for turning the truth into what they call narrative risk. The clue here isn't emotional, it's mechanical, it's date-stamped, and it's 100% repeatable.
The whole cover-up just starts unraveling through simple, basic diligence, like Aisha points out. I am new enough to still read the parts everyone calls standard. Think about that. A junior analyst just checking the fine print managed to outsmart a room full of experienced executives who had simply learned not to look anymore. They were either too tired or maybe too complicit to inspect the metadata. But Aisha checked the small print and just asked why the simplest details didn't match their official timeline.
Building right on top of that, executive assistant Nina drops this piece of wisdom. People forget that background work still has foreground records. She pulls up the pieces everyone else just brushed over. Hidden calendar exports, saved drafts, badge logs, all the stuff that fully contextualized when and how this AI video was uploaded. Even when people try to operate in the shadows, using side chats or deleting calendar invites, the digital system always remembers. The record is quite literally just sitting there, waiting for someone patient enough to read it.
Which brings us to Section 3, Unmasking the True Design. So with this absolute proof map in hand, Maya steps into the glass boardroom, and her team uncovers a glaring side-by-side comparison. On one side, the AI training video script, which features this incredibly softened, watered-down narrative. On the other side, Maya's actual demands from previous meetings, which included very clear calls for public correction and accountability. The vendor didn't just clone her voice, guys. They actively removed every single sentence where she demanded accountability. So what initially looked like a harmless administrative slip-up, it was actually a calculated design to scrub her demands from the permanent corporate record using her own simulated voice to do it. And that prompts Elise, who is an independent board member, to ask the million-dollar question. If this was harmless, why did it need to be hidden? It's such a simple, undeniable question, but it completely shatters their whole facade of business continuity. The room just freezes, because honestly, the executives can't talk their way around a missing consent form and a system log that points directly to a shadowy external reputation vendor.
Elise really drives the point home with this statement. Closure without memory is just a new cover page. And the absolutely crucial takeaway for us here is that celebrating a governance reset while you're actively hiding your past mistakes, that's just a continuation of the same toxic politics. You can't just slap a new cover page on a corrupted file and call the whole thing fixed. This company was literally trying to use an AI simulation of their most credible employee as corporate decoration to legitimize a cover-up.
And finally, Section 4, repairing the corporate system. Now, Maya isn't out for personal revenge, and she absolutely won't accept some quiet, backroom deal. She insists on a resolution that is focused entirely on systemic repair. Together, Elise and Maya enforce some very visible corrective steps. First, they pull the AI video immediately. Gone. Second, they mandate strict, auditable consent logs for all media moving forward. And third, Maya agrees to record a genuine, real message about integrity. They aren't just fixing a glitch, they're creating a brand new control system that makes the next lie much, much harder to pull off. They are actively protecting future employees who will never step foot in that boardroom and who might never even know this specific meeting took place.
Maya's strict refusal to accept a private apology all comes down to one brilliant principle. Do not quietly fix what can publicly teach. Think about it. If you fix a systemic failure in private, the system itself hasn't actually learned a thing. The loophole stays wide open for the very next person. By insisting on a totally transparent system of protection, Maya ensures that the company's failure becomes a structural, permanent lesson in accountability. As AI technology integrates more and more seamlessly into our daily workflows, this entire case stands as a pretty stark reminder: do not borrow someone's voice to say the thing they refuse to say. A synthetic voice might sound exactly like you, but it sure doesn't possess your integrity. So it leaves us with a pretty big question. Who owns your digital credibility, and what exact controls are in place to protect it right now? That's a question every single organization needs to answer before their own system logs do it for them. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to always keep asking the right questions.